The new consumption sector is booming. H1 2025, the best performing sector was consumer discretionary. A perfect example of this is the Hang Seng New Consumption Index, which tracks 40 stocks. It rose by an insane plus 247%. Compare this to the broader consumer sector average return of just plus 5%. Even the staple index only returned 13.5%. And don't forget, these are just the index returns. Many stocks within these indices have seen even greater growth. For example, Pop Mart, which has more than tripled in the last 6 months. But what exactly is new consumption? Simply put, it's all about targeting the younger generations like Gen Z and millennials. Think of it as a combination of pop culture, personalization, experience, and convenience. On the other hand, traditional consumption is all about the essentials, stable demand, and value-based branding. So who are the key players in this space? Number 1, Pop Mart, a collectible toy company that specializes in blind boxes. Their iconic characters like Molly and Skull Panda have become a part of pop culture. Pop Mart has expanded to over 100 countries in Southeast Asia and the US. Revenue has surged over 20x in 3 years. And the brand has a cult following on social media platforms like Xiaohongshu and Bilibili. Number 2, Mixue Bingcheng, an affordable iced drink and dessert chain. With over 36,000 stores globally, the brand has achieved massive scale and social media virality. In addition to its price advantage, Mixie's strong offline expansion and rural penetration have also contributed to its success. And number 3, Laopu Gold, a traditional Chinese gold retailer with a modern fashion twist. There's been a resurgence in interest in Chinese cultural heritage, and Laopu has captured this trend beautifully. While its performance is tied to gold prices, the brand's emotional storytelling and modern branding have made it a favorite among the new generation of consumers. Several macro trends are driving this growth, including rising disposable income among the youth, cultural pride, and local brand loyalty, something we call Guochao, live streaming e-commerce and KOL-driven purchases, and of course social media virality through platforms like Xiaohongshu Douyin and the WeChat ecosystem. In addition, declining property investment in China means more money for consumption. After the pandemic, there's been a lot of revenge spending and a shift towards experience and retail. However, some analysts are cautious, as many of these stocks have already rallied significantly, and there are concerns about a bubble. Are we pricing in too much future growth? How much of this is retail investor speculation versus institutional support? What are the risks to the downside? Regulatory tightening, shifting consumer trends, and weak global demand are some of the key risks. So the question is, should you invest? Well, let's look at some forward PE ratios. Compared to the broader market, the new consumption stocks are not ridiculously valued, but they are trading at a premium. Let's also look at their revenue CAGR estimates. Over the next 2 to 3 years, most of these companies are expected to continue growing at a rapid pace. However, it's worth noting that these are just estimates and actual results may vary. Another important aspect to consider is institutional holdings. The trend has been increasing, but it's still relatively low compared to some of the other major indices. So what do you think? Are these momentum plays, long-term compounders, or trend chasers? How do they compare versus other thematic ETFs or sector indices? Finally, let's talk about the global impact of this boom. Pop Mart, for example, is expanding rapidly in Japan, the US, and Europe. In fact, international sales accounted for over 20% of Pop Mart's revenue last year. This is a clear indication that international funds are on the hunt for China's next big growth story. So if you're interested in gaining exposure to these trends, you can consider ETFs or ADRs that focus on new consumption. For example, the Crane Shares New China Consumption ETF provides exposure to a basket of Chinese companies that are part of the new consumption boom. Overall, the new consumption sector is a fascinating and dynamic space to watch. It reflects the changing consumer behavior and preferences in China, and it's a great example of how innovation and creativity can lead to tremendous growth. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more insightful content. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy investing.